variations of the name of God, composed solely of vowels and found throughout the ancient world, point to a time when all mankind heard the heavens resound with his name. The eternal creations, especially the planets, declared the name of God to the world at the creation event. The names themselves indicate what the ancients heard, E-A-O-E. Perhaps the most remarkable and accurate record of what was heard comes from the Gospel of the Egyptians, a part of the Nag Hammadi library. It describes an event where a great light burst forth out of the primordial darkness and silence. The Damadan Daxamadan, an aeon or manifestation of God, came into being along with his glorious throne with his name inscribed upon it. At the same time, another mystery came forth, vocalic sounds shattering the silence. The Gospel explains that the sounds, 7 vowels each repeated 22 times, were praise given to the great and invisible Spirit. These are the vowels, spoken from the silence and the great light above the earth, which were interpreted to be the name of God. The shout of creation has been described and celebrated as many things. It was a shout or a roar. It was the sound of thunder or of many waters. It was the blast of the trumpet, or the more pleasing sounds of a harp. The shout was believed to be a loud anthropomorphic voice singing a joyful song of praise. The shout announced the beginning of creation. It declared God's name. It was all these things and more. Whatever the interpretation, the sounds were vocalic in nature. They sounded like vowels. This explains the fact that many of the names of the God of Israel, in their original form, were a series of vowels. So too were the names of many gods of the ancient world. Yet these sounds were not heard only once at the creation. They were heard by mankind as long as the planets were stationed above the earth in the polar configuration. From its formation in hoary antiquity to its dissolution after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the planets continued to make the same sounds heard at the initial creation event. The theophany at the sacred mount, the Axis Mundi, was an ongoing event for millennia. When the Lord proclaimed his sacred name to Moses at the mount, he did so in the same manner as he did at the creation event, through the sounds from the planets above, resounding on the earth below. Eya Asher Eya, I am that I am, is a series of 3 vowels, E-A-E. The shortened version is a diphthong, I am Eya. We know from the Mosaic record that the Israelites heard the sounds associated with the creation shout from the sacred mount, thunder, trumpets, and the voice of God. It was at this point that the voice of God from atop the mountain gave his name to the entire camp of Israel. An alternate translation would reveal that the Lord thy God is really Yahweh thy God. In other words, the camp of Israel heard a vocalic name of God, Eya, coming from the direction of the mount. The Bible records that the Lord sounded out his name from time to time to Israel below. When the Lord returns and restores all things, including the polar configuration, the same conditions that existed anciently will exist during the millennium. The planet gods will be stationed above the earth, and the plasma connecting the spheres will conduct sound as in ancient times. Voices, trumpets, thunder, roaring, and all manner of sounds will be heard by mankind. Once again, God will declare His name from above.